Let's say we go ahead with phone-based prospecting. How do you actually reach the right decision maker then?
Yeah, there are definitely plenty of funny and maybe even a bit underhanded tricks you can use when you're calling up clients and really trying to get through to the right person, especially when you're aiming to make that crucial connection. If I already know the contact's name, I can naturally use a few little tricks to help get things moving smoothly. I have to be honest here, I'm not really a big fan of that approach, to tell you the truth. I'd still like to bring them up though. One possible way, of course, is just giving them a quick call and then having someone over at the front desk actually pick up the phone. So yeah, how can I help you? And when I go ahead and say to them like, okay, hi there, it's Robert here, just calling in. Is Peter there? Nah, what's it about? Oh, never mind, it's actually a private matter. Is Peter there? Right, so this guy on the phone, I didn't bother with Mr. Huber, no, it's Peter, and I just casually said, this is Robert here, calling in right now. Then he'll likely think it's a private matter and won't ask too many questions. And if Peter's available, maybe you could put me through, unless of course he already knows the trick. Another option that immediately comes to mind is simply giving a quick call and saying, yeah, I was actually just speaking with Mr. Huber a moment ago, but then the connection suddenly dropped, completely out of the blue, no warning at all. I just called back. Could you quickly reconnect me now? I've just got off the phone with him. Okay, so I'll probably get connected now. Well, you can always come up with clever little tricks like that on the fly whenever I say, okay, I've got a contact person and I really need to be connected directly to them. I'm not really a fan of that approach, to be honest. I mean, just put yourself in Mr. Huber's shoes for a second. Out of the blue, someone calls him up trying to pitch some unsolicited offer, and honestly, who'd even appreciate that kind of interruption? Under the pretense that it's his private contact, or I've spoken to him before, chances are he might just be in the middle of something and I'm interrupting him right now. I mean, it's not like I'm just sitting here all day doing nothing and waiting for someone to finally call. I'm actually pretty much always working. And now all of a sudden there's this phone call coming in with supposedly high priority because the call was just interrupted and now they're routing it straight to me. Then I've got things piling up back at home as well, which just adds even more pressure to the whole situation. I'm already on the defensive with this caller. Then I think to myself, oh God, here comes some sneaky little trick trying to pull one over on me. I've got better things to do right now. And honestly, my mood probably isn't at its best. And I'm not sitting here thinking, wow, he's such a clever guy for pulling that sneaky little trick to get to me. More like that's seriously a pretty underhanded and unfair move if you ask me. That's exactly why. I'd personally be more cautious when it comes to topics like this. My experience is just call them directly and ask for the designated contact person if I happen to know them. It's not like people just me. Deny it by saying they're not here or something. Of course, it's often the case that you just can't get through simply because people are genuinely swamped with work. So there's always a reason why they're not reachable. And when that happens, just ask when it might be a better time to connect with them or when they'd be available. Yeah, so when you're calling and you want to get through, like, is Mr. Mueller available? Is Mr. Huber around? And they say, well, he's not in the office right now, he's tied up or out of the building or something like that. Yeah, when is he available then? Just go ahead and ask directly, when is he free? They'll naturally want to know what it's about, so just go ahead and bring the topic up straight away. No worries at all. Yeah, I sell IT systems. I've got servers, firewalls, basically whatever your product happens to be, just bring it up straight away. And if you've actually reached the right contact, then the person on the phone will also think, yeah, okay, that's actually Mr. Huber's area. So let's check when it might work out. Ideally, this person on the phone has direct access to the calendar and can go ahead and set up an appointment with you right away, no hassle. That's the ideal scenario because then you'll eventually join the call and know, okay, I've got that appointment with Mr. Mueller next Tuesday at 9 a.m. When you make that call, you'll almost certainly get through and Mr. Mueller will already be expecting you, so he'll be fully prepared and ready to dive into the conversation without any delays. Much more likely to give your pitch a proper hearing than if you try some sneaky or underhanded tactic to get in out of the blue. That's just my experience and my advice. Always stay honest and never even think about resorting to sneaky or underhanded tricks to get ahead, no matter the temptation. Another real life example from our side, there's this one company that reaches out to us regularly, without fail every single time, always consistent and on point. They're also very persistent. They've never done business with us, and they never will. Because they call every single time they want to sell us office supplies, and they're always calling and starting the sentence the same way. "Hi, this is XYZ. First off, I just want to be clear, I'm not trying to sell you anything at all. Could you please connect me with the person who's in charge of printers there?" So here's how it works for us. We've really moved away from printing on paper these days because we've fully embraced a modern, efficient and streamlined digital workflow and just don't have such high consumption numbers for toners and stuff anymore. Then if someone calls us with a product that, from my point of view, feels kind of outdated or at least doesn't fit our needs, and says he doesn't want to sell me anything anymore, then I'm like, okay, what exactly do you want from me then? So I really don't want to be the guinea pig just to test out some brand new toners. That's not what I signed up for. We don't use nearly enough for that. And that makes me wonder, what do you even want from me? If you then take a moment to listen to that conversation, what's the next step? They still want to sell you something anyway. And it really doesn't sit well with me on a personal level when the very first sentence on the phone is such an obvious lie. So they say, "Don't worry, we're not trying to sell you anything at all." Then right away ask, "Who's in charge of printers at your company?" So then they connect me to someone maybe, yeah. And then someone takes the call who supposedly isn't trying to sell me anything, yet still delivers their sales pitch anyway. That just feels weird and unprofessional to me. I wouldn't buy from companies like that because then I think, okay, all the other promises this person is making about their product right now, they're probably not keeping those either. They're probably just as fake. So I'd really recommend sticking to honesty all the way. And you can even add a bit of humor, like, "Could you please connect me? It's really important. You're my most important client. And honestly, I've only been waiting for Mr. Miller." So you can definitely try it in a light-hearted way, and you always have to remember this person on the phone. You know what we often call the telephonic fireball. It's just a person. And if I can somehow connect with that person, then if I also manage to build a personal connection and keep things relaxed, maybe even with a touch of humor, they'll actually be more inclined to go the extra mile for me. But if I approach them like that, or with really off-putting and unpleasant tactics, then they won't feel like connecting with me at all.